Hello Hoopers, and welcome back to another Hoop Trick Encyclopedia tutorial. And today we're gonna learn all about a trick called the wedgie. And I know it sounds a little scary just from the name of it, but I promise that no one's gonna jump through the camera right now and give you a wedgie. They call it this because it is resting right in between the thighs. And I believe that's why they call it that. It's a really interesting name for the trick, but we're gonna roll with it because I didn't come up with the name, I just use it. So, the first thing that you wanna do with wedgie is, once again, polypro tubing hoop is the only way to go. I'll show you just what it would look like if you had a bigger hoop, and I'll show you why it's impossible to do this trick with a larger size hoop. So, for example, this hoop fits snugly right in between my legs. This hoop comes to about top of the thigh level, which is a perfect height for me. You wanna make sure that whatever hoop you're using is no taller than this. This is actually on the larger end for this trick. Now, if I were to use this hoop, do you see how high this goes on me? I can't even get this in between my legs to fit snugly, and I certainly would not be able to get this to slide back and forth without scraping and dragging on the ground. So just to give you a demo of what wedgie looks like. So that is one expression of wedgie. That's a full infinity version of wedgie where it goes all the way over me and back down. And you can switch and go back and forth doing that motion. Obviously that takes a lot of time and practice. My thighs are a little sore right now, so I'm not gonna do that expression of it, but just know that that's where you can go. So wedgie essentially is using the inner thighs, and it may be a good idea to wear pants for this one. I know I've talked about in the past having more exposed skin to help the hoop stick to you. But in this situation, you don't need the hoop to stick to you. You want it to have this sliding motion, and you can get that friction with the legs, but it may leave a little bit more of like Indian burn, rug burn. You know what they say is when we were kids and you would do that to someone's arm. I don't know if you ever did that. My sister and I did that together, where we would rub each other's forearm and make it like this raw feeling. That's what it'll do on the inside of your legs just from doing this trick. Now, I've done this trick for a while, so my inner thighs are a little bit used to it, so I didn't wear pants today. But I do recommend, if you have some really nice yoga pants, something with a smooth, silky finish, it's really gonna help you with this trick moving forward. So we'll start today with the hoop right in between the legs, cross one foot over, and then extend it back. So it doesn't matter which foot you use first. Use your dominant side, obviously. And for me, that's my right. So now that the foot is hooked, I'm gonna say in the beginning, use your hand to guide the hoop. That way you're not relying on the inner thighs to do all the work. And it's just like if you were to go to the gym and use an assisted pull-up machine, right? It's not that you're not doing any work, it's that you have a little bit of an assistance to help get you up, and over time you can lower the resistance, and then you're actually building up the strength to be able to do a full pull-up on your own. So it's the same thing with wedgie. You want to start with pants, right? Start with the help of the hand, and then just start to feel this forward and back motion of the hoop gliding from down to right about the top of the bicep, maybe into the tricep. It might even hit the upper back, depending on how big the hoop is, depending on where it's at in the thighs. There's really no wrong answer. It's just about finding where it falls on your body. Because as I mentioned before, everyone's torso size is different. You know, my shoulders are a little bit more broad, so they tend to poke out and they get more of the hoop than maybe say someone that has more of a narrow shoulder. And so, you know, I don't want to say specifically that it has to hit the shoulder, it has to hit the upper back, but it will be somewhere in that area, and then start to notice and feel where that is on your body. Because once you develop this body awareness with the help of the hand, then as soon as you take the hand away, you know where the hoop needs to go. So when you're using the hand, you don't have to add as much momentum with the legs, but eventually the way that you increase momentum with this trick is by knocking the knee side to side. So since I used my right foot to step through and hook the hoop, then I'm going to use my left knee to create that momentum. And while it's doing that, it's causing the hoop to move up. So it's giving the hoop a little bit of momentum to go up. So try that a couple times and see if maybe you need the assistance of the hand still. That's okay, maybe try one with the knee and then one with the hand, one with the knee and then one with the hand, right? And then just get used to this feeling of where the hoop is going in space. Now, you don't have to take wedgie all the way over the body as I did before, right? If you do, then look at where it's at. Now it's already hooked on the left foot and you're set up to go right on over to the other side. And if you were to go all the way over in that way, you would just have to increase the momentum, duck down, and let the hoop travel down. And then you're set up to then go back to the other side. So it may even be nice to use your hand to guide you through this movement so you know how far down you have to duck, and see if it's plausible, see if it feels comfortable, because the last thing you want to do is try to duck and then let the hoop smack you in the face. So just see like where you're supposed to be. And really, I fold really far into it because I want to give the hoop enough space to travel over me. So if you think you're going low, go even lower, because it feels like you're bending down really far in this trick in order to get it over the body. The main thing you want to learn with wedgie is just to get comfortable with the hoop in between the thighs and that building momentum with the opposite knee, so that eventually, over time, you can either let the hoop travel up and over, or so that you can bring it back onto the body. So really you have a few options here with it. There's also one more variation that I'll show you, and it's called walk the dog. This is an entrance into wedgie. It's really fun. If you've ever done yo-yos as a kid, I loved yo-yos. And there was a trick called walking the dog, and you flipped the yo-yo up and then flicked it out, and it would come back to you, right? If any of you played with yo-yos, you'll know what I'm talking about. Maybe you even tried this with a hoop as a kid, I don't know. But essentially you're flicking the hoop up, you're flicking the wrist so that the hoop has this backwards rotation that will then come back to you. So try that a couple times. And then try to get really good at the aim. Try to pinch it in between the legs, and then eventually, then you'll have the right position to hook it over the foot and then move right into wedgie. So wedgie is a really fun trick. You know, you can stay here in wedgie, like I said. You can put the hands behind the head, make it look more pretty, I guess, if you will. Sometimes people don't know what to do with their hands in this trick. Really, you just want to keep them out of the way, and then over time you can find what position works well for you. So that's all for today. You obviously have a lot to practice. This one is a little bit more intense. Be compassionate and easy with yourself. And the most important part, have fun. And then once you master this trick, it's gonna be really fun to say that you can do the wedgie. You know, I really just like getting to say that. So it's shocking to anyone that doesn't know what it means. And most of the time people will be like, what? Like, don't give me a wedgie. But seriously, it's the cool version of the wedgie. So that's all for today, and I will see you on the next lesson.